Right, one length above the shoulder. We're going to do a relatively long version of this, so it's just going to sit on the shoulder, and I want you to be able to do exactly the same because it's going to give you at least 3 chances to be able to cut these 3 haircuts and not be above the hairline. Section pattern first. Again, really important. Apex, where comb balances, to just behind the back of the ear. This is our back section, and like we long one length, it's the same thing. When we're cutting the back from the back, we stand behind, and we're going to cut the sides from the side, we stand at the sides. We never stand in that zone where we're going to cut a corner off. We're going to cut through his comb again, because it creates zero elevation and 0 graduation. We're nice and flat, okay? We're going to cut a very slight inversion, and what I mean by that is going to be slightly longer in the front. The reason for this is negative hair, and that clients always blow dry the sides first. So they're going to blow dry that and give volume to it, and then they get tired and they just waft the back. And how many times do you see a bob that actually looks more like that when actually it should look like that? The other reason about the section pattern is, again, one of the major mistakes is people start from the crown, and then that bit gets dried back and people see with those like kind of long dangly bits. And you must always cut it to the parting where the client's. Now we've gone for a centre parting today, but if a client wears it to the side, you cut it from the side. Because if you don't, then they're going to end up with long bits either side again. Okay, so feet hip width apart again, very similar situation to what we had with long one length. I'm just going to cut through. I said slightly longer version. And with the sides, we're just going to slightly pull them back. And with our side on this side, exactly the same. At none of this stage have I moved my feet at all. My feet have stayed exactly the same. Really important, checking balances. Quite easy on a doll's head because I've cheated. I've cut it to the rib on there, so I know that I'm balanced out. Just a quick check. And we appreciate this is a doll's head. It will have different elasticity. So sometimes with short haircuts, it will not be exactly as it would be on a human because the hair's not right. And if you see the depth, we talked about with long one length, with quite a deep depth to that first section. This is about half the size of that first one on long one length. Okay. Section 2. Deep enough that I can still see my previous guide underneath. If you can't see your guide, like I said in previous haircuts, go back, take a finer section. Back into position with our feet. Just that centre bit. Pull down with our comb flat. So what you'll see is just a very soft arc. It's not a big inversion, like a big V, it's a soft arc, okay? And that's preparing us for when we get to this negative hair at the sides. To the top of the ear. Now if your block's incredibly thick, then you might do this in 4 sections. This is not, I've gone, if anybody noticed, I've gone and changed from my previous block to this one. Slightly finer hair. I didn't see the point in taking all the other one off straight away. Again, back to the same. It's that action. Remember we talked about action long length? In flat. When we get to the section, pivot the comb so that it's actually giving us a big, long, straight line to cut against. Now if you're really struggling with the comb, you still want to use your fingers, then you can do, but I would really try to just practice. Look how solid that line is. You couldn't have got that line as solid as that using your fingers. your cunt are done. And what you're doing, because your fingers are certain far, you'd have created elevation. There's no elevation in that. We're now going to go into a radial section. Same as long one length. We're going to bring our sides in, and for exactly the same reasons. So we can, one, work with the same depth of hair, but more importantly, that client can then confirm that they are happy to proceed at that length, and that we're not going to waste an awful lot of time by cutting a lot of hair and it not being necessary. Same as long one length again. Just slight angle to that section, so it's slightly lower in the front, and that's going to remind us when we cut through our comb that that angle wants to be slanting in that direction and not in that direction. Okay. Important just to keep that moisture level even throughout the hair. If you've not noticed, because we're cutting a perimeter, we're cutting through a small tooth of a comb, but we're not overcombing. If you overstretch hair like that by being really, really strict, you actually create more graduation, because the hair will always shrink. It will always pop back like elastic band. So we're still cutting it under tension, but not under extreme tension. Just move slightly.